In this video, further adventures of the 2CV and other members of the fleet variously. This video is sponsored by Jackery. We're going to find out what's in this box and plug it into this solar panel later in this video. Into the action then, and here's a clip from when I was at home earlier today. So I'm at home and it sounds like this is catching on the alternator or the pulley. So I'm just going to adjust this via these points, hopefully stop that. Even with that cover off, we've still got some, that's rubbing there and that's rubbing there, but this cowling seems really bent and I don't know when that's happened. So I think I'm going to have to get up the unit, get the fan off and just try and pull this whole cowling out a bit. That's not how the day was meant to go, to be honest. But in other news, look who's back. MOT passed this morning. Good times. So not ever so ideal. We need to try and work out what's going on here. Also, I managed to drop the boy's tool. I borrowed his tool to take this off, and a bit of it has dropped into here and hopefully hasn't been utterly obliterated by the fan. So fan off, I guess. 4 11mm heads here and then a 14mm to get the fan off itself. I mean, to be honest, I could probably do doing the fan belt if I've got one. That's looking a bit rough. But I think before I do anything else, I'm actually going to assemble my cart. This is not a sponsored cart. I bought it online somewhere, and hopefully it will save me having to carry my toolbox around, which is falling apart because it's made of plastic and is rubbish. Okay then, let's look what we got in here. Some bits of metal, another bit of metal, a handle, more bits of metals and some wheels. It seems there are no instructions, so hopefully it's fairly straightforward. Oh, I'm a new man now. I started reading instructions and now there aren't any. Of course, this being a hub nut, it's gone quite awry already. I've merrily been fitting the wheels to the wrong side, so I'm going to have to undo that and crack on with it. I'll tell you what, while I sort that out, here is a sponsorship. Don't you hate it when you're sat in a field in the middle of nowhere wanting to carry out rust repairs to your classic car and you don't have any power? Well, you could use a traditional generator, but they're a bit antisocial. Sorry. Or you can be a bit more respectful and use a Jackery. This is an Explorer 3000. So we can plug into this. And now only the drill is the noisy bit. But this Explorer 3000 is the top rated model, and I'm even charging it with the power of the sun. Of course, it's gone cloudy now, but still that is providing plenty of power to my Jackery, so it might not keep up with the power demand, but it will keep topping up the battery as we go. Not that it's just for power tools. I can use my air fryer in the middle of nowhere to cook a delicious slice. Oh, this is something I can definitely get on board with. Or we'll await maybe some vacuuming. So on the front of the unit, that's how we turn it on. We've got a 12-volt power outlet for car accessories. We've got 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As, and then 3 13-amp sockets with pure sine wave, so good clean energy. So you can see I'm down to 27% now with all my electricity use, but we're still getting 66 watts of solar, even though the sun is currently hidden behind a cloud. You can even get a handy app on your phone, so you don't have to come and look at the tiny screen. You have all the information at your fingertips, showing the charge going in, the power coming out, expected life, that sort of thing. It uses LiFePO4 cells, which should last at least 10 years and over 4,000 charge cycles. It does weigh about 27 kilos though, so you're not exactly going to be chucking it in your backpack, but then, you know, a fuel generator is also not the lightest thing to carry around. It's more for putting in the car and having instant power wherever you are. Great news for you is we have a discount code down in the description, so go and have a look, and thank you Jackery for sponsoring this video. Suppose I could actually do some car tidying while I'm here. Well, it seems to have taken the best part of 2 hours, but finally we got it all together, but blimey. It is very noisy. I'm wondering if some insulation mat might quieten that down. What sort of a difference has that made then? Some random offcuts of that stuff. Yeah, that shows you the power of that stuff. It stops the panels ringing. Yeah, that is... I'm putting it on those side pieces, but yeah, very, very pleasing. I have got a slight issue here because I was using this plastic toolbox, but it won't open if it's in one of these trays, and it is pretty destroyed anyway. I don't want to just leave the tools in here really, because this is a really damp unit and I think they will just rust to nothing in there. It's important to be able to kind of seal them in. Even if it isn't fully sealed, it makes quite the difference stopping the damp air getting to the tools. So maybe I need to manufacture a lid for it, I don't know. But anyway, I think that's enough distraction. Let's crack on with 2CV. Right, you'll have to excuse the tractor noises because, well, it's a farm. You get tractor noises. But get these whizzed off. And I should just whiz them off with a whizzy gun. But I don't think I've got an adapter for this. Maybe that would speed things up a bit. Why work when you don't have to? And then I've got somewhere to put my bolts, so I can drop them on the floor. Great. This is one of the problems with yoga dogs, is trying to get them in, but there we go, just about managed. Beautiful, so that's our fan guard off. Oh, this is a game changer, having somewhere to put stuff. Now I can't use the Ugga Dugga to do the 14mm, but that's alright. I have a technique for that. And my technique is to go like this and then just sharp tap and it comes undone. Oh, I need to get myself a decent 3/8 ratchet. Any recommendations for ratchets? Do let me know. I'm not a huge fan of thumb switch, or rather, I don't like the switch being on the back there. I like a release button. Makes life easier. And now we need to get the fan off. And I usually go for the jiggle technique. Hold on, where are my tools? We've got a bar, and one thing you can do is bash the thing, but I like to just jiggle. Just trying to, there we go, knock the fan off its taper. It's amazing how effective the jiggle technique is. And I'm going to actually pop the alternator belt off. That looks appalling. That looks very old. There is just about a Daco label there, but I don't think you can even see that. And ooh, I think I've had a near miss, and that might put us out of contention for a bit. Actually, I found the adapter. It's the boy's adapter, that is. Unfortunately, I think I've lost his 8mm socket as well, and I think that may have gone off elsewhere in the engine. Yeah, didn't want to drop that, but yeah, I got a big problem. Look at that. It's almost nicked straight through the oil cooler pipe. That is a major issue. Curse me and my utter stupidity. All because I was mucking about up here and I dropped the adapter down through there. So it's caught the back of the fan and has then been forced into that pipe by the look of it. Great. That is not an easy job to sort out either. Idiot. It caught that pipe as well, but that doesn't really make any odds. Now the problem is, this car's meant to be going to Pete Sparrow at some point for some remedial work, and would you trust that to get there? That must be paper thin. If that lets go, you're going to lose all of your engine oil very quickly. Oh, I'm such an idiot. On the plus side, while I was assembling the trolley, the Jackery is now full and is now charging up my microphones. Apparently that's supping 8 watts. Thing is, you're probably thinking this is pretty painful to watch, but imagine actually being me. The tinkering not going particularly well, really, this morning, and then I come in and this tyre has gone completely flat, and I don't know why. So I better have that off. I'm going to take that to Tim and see if we've got a leak on it, but given it hasn't moved for quite a long time, random. I think these alloys do not seal very well on these. So that one's off. I'll put the front one on the back and actually going off. Betty's going off for some welding, so I can probably get the tyre done at the same time fairly soon, because we've got this grotty mess down here that obviously needs dealing with rather better than me just spraying some stuff over it. So that'll be happening very soon. So I think that's going to be it for this one. Not the best, eh? And we haven't even touched either of those again. But yeah, quite happy with my little tray. I think that is going to be very useful. I just need to work out a tool solution for it. Maybe I can get a toolbox that fits in one of the lower levels, just so stuff's accessible. But yeah, things going very, very hub now. It shouldn't be a surprise really, should it? I've been doing this for a very long time now, and yet somehow it is, and it's dispiriting and it's annoying. Okay, let's try and inject some positivity into this video. I was a bit down in the dumps yesterday with my 2CV failings, but plenty of people assure me they've done worse. So yeah, it is what it is. I have created a problem that didn't exist before, but these things happen sometimes. It's always a bit risky working on running engines, especially when there's a big fan on the front of said engine. But here we go, back in Bella the Berlingo, and mostly recalling how insanely comfortable this ride is. You get trim shakes and rattles because French, but also just because it's a big empty box, so sound does tend to reverberate around in it. But yeah, you just forget what compliant suspension feels like. This is probably the most comfortable car we own. Obviously the 2CV is pretty good, but this just sort of takes it to another level. It's remarkably composed and comfortable, and I think that's probably the most surprising thing about Berlingo life, and what anyone who hasn't driven a Berlingo doesn't really realise. I don't think the later ones are as good. Obviously you've got the M59s, which are the same body shell, they're still pretty good, but the later B9 and onwards, they went to a strut rear suspension, whereas this has got the clever underfloor suspension that I think first saw light of day on the Peugeot 305 estate. So you get an entirely flat floor and horizontal shock absorbers, or near to it anyway. So yeah, it's remarkably compact as a suspension system, but it gives this wondrous ride. It's so comfortable. So yeah, I'd kind of entirely forgotten that. We've still got the engine not working 100%, as Kitch loves to remind me in most of his dyno videos, but it does well enough for 99% of what I need from it. We've still got all the torque. It's the power at the top end that's a bit down. 78 brake horse when it should be 90, but yeah, it's still just smooth economical, and actually a really nice steer. And I think that's probably why I persist with this car. I get so much hate for this car. Why on earth are you pouring money in that awful car? But it's the experience sitting here that makes me spend out. I think we've probably got an engine mount issue. I think there's a bit too much rock in the engine, which I think has been caused by a slight misfire it had at one point. But yeah, it's just a really pleasant thing and so simple. We've got keep fit windows, keep fit locks. There's kind of not very much to go wrong. But we're going to head up the unit and we'll give the old girl a much needed wash, because she's been sat in the barn for months and she's a bit of a state. But yes, as predicted, she'd hit 193,000 miles on the way to the MOT yesterday. So let's get the foot down. And yeah, down around 2,000 revs, up to 3,000, whee. It actually behaves as it should, but when you start pushing beyond 3, she falls a bit flat on her face. But that's alright, makes it relaxing, just keep the revs down. I still have no idea why that is, but keeps going. Hasn't really changed in the way she drives in most of the time we've owned her. We did have the EGR valve got clogged up, and we used some of that magic spray, and that really did improve the running considerably, which I did not expect. But yeah, why are we going so slowly? Motorhomes and caravans. I can't talk, I have a bob. And sometime later, here she is, looking all clean, and now all the scuffs and scratches really stand out. But certainly looks a lot better than she did. Yeah, so Bella is back. What the future really is for this car, I don't know. We've got the holiday mission next month, which is the main reason she's come back out. I have insured her for an entire year, and that was a pain in the backside. Why is insurance always a pain in the backside? But there is one little job I need to do. Yeah, I've just remembered my cheap aftermarket indicators are full of water, and I think this one's the same, perhaps even worse. Oh no, maybe it's emptied itself out a bit, but I think a little hole in the bottom to try and let the water out might be an idea, in lieu of actually buying decent aftermarket side indicators. So in theory there's just a little tag to release to get these out. Is that it? It doesn't seem to quite want to release. I think that is it. I think it tags into the headlamp actually. Oh yes, there we go. That enables us to get the bulbs out. It's just twist fit, and then we can release the blinker fluid. Marvellous. And yeah, I think a little hole in the bottom might just do the job. But these are made in Spain by Valio apparently. They leak like an absolute sieve. Hopeless. There we are. 3 holes for good measure in the bottom, so hopefully it'll at least let the water out. That's like a British Leyland solution, that is. They actually did do that on marinas, I think it was. The solution was to yeah, drill holes in the bottom. Slot that into the headlamp there. There we go. And repeat over there. The important bit is a little slider there to engage with the headlamp. There we go. Oh, that actually fits better than it did before. Perfect. Give it the old test. Oh, fall over the hose. Perfect. Oddly, we don't have any hazard light clicking in here. That's weird. But we'll just say because French. But it's starting to rain now. I've cleaned the car. So I'll put you inside. There we go. Lovely Bella. So we can drop the bonnet and shut the door. Zzz. Marvellous. So there we go. That puts a slightly happier spin on things, I think. Bella's back. I don't care that you think this is the stupidest idea in the world. It works for us. She's nice and clean, temporarily, and ready for further adventures. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'm glad we got a slightly more positive spin on things. Ellie is sat here with the naughty cross on, although it's not her that's naughty in this case, it's me. I don't want to be running that until we've done something, even if it's chemical metal, just something to strengthen that pipe until we can get it to a specialist and a new oil cooler can be fitted. But getting problematic. The latest ones you can get on the market, reportedly not very good. So you need to find a good used one. But getting one off without destroying the pipes in the unions, very, very difficult. Been there before. So yeah. All good fun. So thank you for watching, and don't forget you can head to the Hubnut store. I must get the Bella merch on the new store. Hopefully I've done that by the time you see this. I'll see you in a future video. Farewell. Yep, it's raining. Wow. I'm sorry everyone, this is my fault. I washed the car and now it is absolutely pouring down. Is fierce. And some behind the scenes as is the state of poor Ellie transporting everything to our filming spot today. We haven't got to go on public roads, so don't be stressing. But yeah, this probably counts as some form of car abuse, I'm guessing. Sorry Ellie.